Johnny Depp and his dick nose.
Dick nose.
Dick nose.
Welcome to the Backlot 605 podcast, episode 18. I am one of your hosts. I am Casey.
I'm Brian.
And Chris is here with us once again.
Glad to be here.
He's glad to be here this time.
You just need to be the tri-host.
The tri-host?
The tri-host.
I don't know how to
Except
take
for
that.
Except for all the times I skip.
That's all right.
Skipping's normal.
Casey's not here half the time.
Not mentally,
He's
no.
here physically, not mentally.
I'm just talking. That's it.
Yeah.
So we got a whole lot of news to go on and talk about today. But we are also going to talk about our favorite non-MCU comic book movies. Why are we going to do that? Because the fuck we can.
I still want to know why you missed the joke.
What joke?
We're 18 now.
We are 18. We are legal.
We're legal. We've made it to that point.
Just 3 more episodes and Brian can actually legally drink for the first time.
Shit, what's with the Fernston in my hand?
As he sips on his lion's paw right here.
Yummy, yummy.
Yeah, we're going to talk about our favorite non-MCU movies in honor of an MCU movie, Captain Marvel.
Oh yeah, that's coming up, isn't it?
That little independent movie that's coming out.
Yeah, I hear it's a little pretty low budget.
Yeah. I don't know anyone in the cast, do you guys?
No, it's pretty low key.
Yeah, this Brie Larson lady, she's an up-and-comer. Same with this Samuel L. Jackson guy.
I go low key and I get nothing.
Low key?
Low key.
Yes.
Chris is like, fuck off.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
So let's jump into the box office for the week. What do we got at number 1?
At number 1, we get to see How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World take number 1 for the second week in a row. And then, excuse me, bringing in still just over $30 million.
It's a pretty good second week for the Dragon series.
That's not too bad. Didn't even break the 50% drop that most movies will typically take in
their second week.
Week. Actually, this entire top 10 for this week, nobody broke that percentage, which is kind of unusual.
Yeah, but it didn't help that there wasn't much coming out this week besides Tyler Perry's last Medea movie.
Yeah, I still don't know about that.
I mean, we can only hope so, like you said.
No. You know, some people would be like, God, do we need any more? And the other part is this. I'm the guy that's like, hey, if the dude wants to keep making the movies and he's still gonna make bank off the movies, more power to him. I mean,
I just looked up his net worth before the show started. It's over $600 million.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Because of these movies.
That's just it. I'm not the target audience for Medea. But if he wants to keep churning these out,
You're not a sassy black woman?
I'm not a sassy black woman. I'm as far as though I have been called saucy recently.
You are a little saucy.
I am a little saucy. So, on that note, Tyler Perry's Medea's Family Funeral takes second with $27 million. So, a really good, if this would have been, I think, the third week for How to Train Your Dragon, if it would have opened up a week sooner, pretty sure Tyler Perry would have taken first.
He was in 1,800 less theaters, too, so.
For Tyler Perry?
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of the problem, yet it's also part of how big that fan base is for those movies.
Right, exactly.
Proof that he ain't done.
Well, yeah, because I'm looking at here, average of 11,000 per screen for Medea, where it's only 7 for How to Train Your Dragon. If Tyler Perry would have had the same amount of screens as Dragon, it would have crushed it easily.
I wonder why it didn't get such a wide release.
Honestly, I don't think he needs it.
Obviously not with these numbers.
Exactly. Number 3 comes in Adelita. God, fuck it up every time. Alita, Battle Angel.
You're the one that saw the damn movie.
And it was so good.
Which you can check out Brian's review right now on backlot605.com.
Yes, you can.
Plug
it in. Only brought in $7 million, but that was still for a good third place. Because that's pretty much when it started dipping down. Everybody went to go see Tyler Perry and How to Train Your Dragon. Lego Movie Part 2, 6.6. Green Book, 4.7 to round out the top 5. Green Book, obviously, after the whole Oscars thing, had a bit of a resurgence. Because it went from 11th place to 5th place.
I think winning Best Picture might have helped that movie out just a little bit.
Just a smidge.
The only other wide release movie that came out this weekend was Greta, and that movie only pulled in $4 million. It did open in 2,400 screens, but
Give it credit, 4.5.
4.5.
4.5 million. That's a little bit.
It's a smaller movie, and I think that's about where they probably expected it to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was more of an independent anyway.
So yeah, that's the box office. No real shocks or surprises besides Medea still hanging in there strong after all these years.
Nope, and I will milk this till the cows are dried up. That currently Alita is at 350 globally, so it has doubled its budget. So I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's probably about even right now, actually.
Well,
And
no,
did it open in China yet?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's going to keep running there in China.
China first week alone brought in 64.
Yeah.
And like I said, as I beat the dead horse, is we're not the target market for Alita. We just get the privilege of having made the movie and be able to have the opportunity to see the movie.
Yeah. It's gonna pull the Transformers Pacific Rim thing, make the money overseas, and that's how we'll get its sequels.
Yeah, currently right now, 20.6% of the lifetime gross is domestic. So almost 80% is foreign.
All right, so that's the box office.
That is.
Let's jump into the news, and I know Brian's excited about this first news article. Rambo. You do not disrespect John Rambo like that. He is an American hero and a war veteran.
And I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is we don't need another Rambo. Stallone should have made all these extra, like, 2 movies here, like, 20 years ago. 30 years ago.
I am 100% for this. So Rambo will get its official release date, Rambo Last Blood, that is, of September 30th of this year. And I am 100% for this. The last Rambo movie is the best since First Blood. It's over-the-top action, blood splurts everywhere. It's just Sylvester Stallone kicking ass like he should. And it's amazing.
Your thoughts, Chris?
I haven't seen any of the movies, so I have no thoughts.
Oh, they're amazing. He had this nice little career resurgence in the mid to late 2000s with Rocky Balboa and then Rambo.
And the Expendables.
And the Expendables. That one helped out a little bit.
A lot of it.
It's the worst of those three. So
What is wrong with the Expendables?
nothing. Something for a different podcast. But Rambo is amazing. So if you haven't checked out the Rambo from 08, 07 maybe, right around there, check it out. And this will be the final Rambo movie, much to Brian's chagrin on that.
Oh, darn.
And Rambo Last Blood. That's the only title that they ever could have for this movie.
All of a sudden be like, well, let's make another one. Last Blood Part 2.
Oh, God, I would love that. Totally fit into the 80s vibe for that.
Right. Last Blood. We found a little more.
Part 2. One drop left. That's the tagline on the bottom.
Somebody call the ambulance.
I think Stallone will probably croak over before that happens.
Now, this next thing we got coming up here, I'm more into this here. I'm all for this here. To bring us a sequel to Edge of Tomorrow. Live, Die, Repeat. However, when I shared this to the group about this coming about, I did not read any of the Reddit comments at all.
Oh, yeah.
That was just sheer coincidence, which, considering we're talking about Edge Tomorrow, that was funny as hell. Then, I'm like, so what are they going to do? Just re-release the first one in the theaters?
They should.
They could.
Do it.
I still think they need to market, like, the shit out of, like, Groundhog Day for a sequel. And then just fucking drop the...
Re-release it again. Yeah.
Yes.
We de-aged Bill Murray to make him look like he did in the original Groundhog Day. And it's just the exact same
We
movie.
just de-aged everybody. We brought in Chris Elliott. No, I thoroughly enjoyed the concept and the idea and just the overall kick-assness of Edge of Tomorrow. And I'm completely all for a sequel to this.
Agreed.
I guess just depending on how they go about it, since I still need to sit back and watch Happy Death Day to You.
Oof.
You're a hard sell on horror movies, and I get that, but that's what I fear, is it's going to run the same course of they're going to try to do the same thing but different and make a worse film. kind of in the vein of what you say for Happy Death Day to you.
Edge of Tomorrow, though, is so much better than Happy Death Day.
Well, there's a difference between a big budget movie with fucking Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt versus
In their respective genres, though.
low budget horror tater tot.
Yeah.
I don't know her name off the top of my head, so I'm gonna refer to her as Tater Tot now.
Jessica Roth.
Yeah, there you go.
She's the best part of those movies. She's fantastic.
Oh, agreed.
They just need to have an Avenger-style team-up between Tom Cruise, Jessica Roth, and Bill Murray.
Oh my god.
All just come together.
Oh my god.
They're all stuck in the same loop, and they have to figure out how to get out of it together. Could you imagine that? Tom Cruise and Bill Murray together?
That needs to happen, period.
Great.
That needs to happen. Yes. I don't even care what the movie's for. I want to go.
It's just those two having coffee.
Fuck yeah.
Yes, that's the movie.
Bring in like $10 million, you'd be like, how much was the budget? I don't know, what, 2 cups of coffee in about 15 minutes?
We had to pay for Bill and Tom to get here. That's about it.
Right. So,
All right, we're all in for this, right?
yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely, positively fantastical.
So we had the new Hellboy trailer. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was sold on the first trailer,
You failed.
and I don't want to watch. I don't want to get spoiled.
Actually,
Like
no.
we did with the trailer, I do want to bring up after we talk about Hellboy.
I would say this is the first trailer for Hellboy made me go, I'm not sure. Like, I'm sold on David Harbour as Hellboy. As much as I will miss Ron Perlman as Hellboy, I'm sold on David Harbour. The first trailer, I think they pushed too much with the retro rock thing. That's kind of like the new norm right now for music, in movies and something like that.
And the quippy one-liners.
Yes. And there's a little bit of that for this new trailer, but it definitely is more... It shows more action. It's showing more of the grittiness of what Hellboy is, not just the campy, yes, the one-liners. Like, it's Hellboy. You're going to get one-liners. There's no doubt about it. But that's not what all the movies have, but that's what the first trailer seemed like. I don't think you would lose anything by risking watching the second trailer, but I think the second trailer is what you should have got the first time.
Chris, what'd you think?
It was good. I kind of want to mention some stuff, but you say you don't want to know, so.
You can. I don't care.
The Japanese guy turns into a fucking leopard or whatever the hell
He
is.
turns into a jaguar.
There we go.
Yes. Which they actually, I did see that they referenced that in like some of like the little like captions and like people's responses and whatnot. Like, that's one of the things that they're like, well, it's about fucking time. Like, that dude is badass looking too. And that does kind of go into like one of the one-liners from it where Hellboy just flat out just punches him like square in the face. Like, come on. It's really good.
So let's talk about a trailer that did spoil some stuff.
What?
X-Men Dark Phoenix.
One that I haven't watched yet.
Do you care if we bring it? Have you watched it? Right?
I watched not
The
the
second one?
international one, but I did watch the U.S. second.
I did.
Okay.
I did hear some things where they were comparing the Dark Phoenix story from X-Men 3 versus the Dark Phoenix.
They kind of are doing the same
Seems
thing.
like the lamp, yeah,
Well, it's kind of the same story.
Yeah. They are going to space, though.
which is good.
Yeah. Which is the actual storyline. So do you care if we spoil what happens?
No, not at all.
They basically show that Mystique dies in this.
She's gonna die.
Oh, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It was, before, because even before they even said they were going to do Dark Phoenix, that at one point they're like, just Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult and, Fassbender and all of them are going to be out, and Fox had to reel them all back in, and they're like, well, if so-and-so and so-and-so doesn't do it, I'm not going to do it. So they had to convince like 4 of them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Why do it?
Well, I mean, if
You're basically doing X-Men 3 again. I mean, I get they're trying to right the wrongs of that movie, but
because
that's what you had Deadpool and Days of Future Past for.
But there was also a lot of wrongs with that movie. And there was so much good potential with X-Men 3 that was so poorly done. Sorry,
yeah.
sorry, Ratner.
Not sorry.
Yeah, we go from Singer to Ratner, and just currently right now, their both names are shit right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a trend. No, I'm hoping that that's what they're going for, is they're essentially trying to right the wrong and, changing the course of since the Days of Futures Past is, correcting the timeline, whatever the case is, so that way they can try to move forward.
Let's talk about the last movie that we just got a trailer to, Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu, Pikachu.
Detective Pikachu, the second trailer.
Okay, so you kind of gave me the weird look like when the first one, like why are we even having this movie? You seem kind of like you're kind of in the Pikachu train now.
No, I'm not. I am further away from this train now.
What?
I cannot stand this casting at
I
all.
could have swore in the chat, you had like 4 thumbs up when this trailer came out.
No. For the way the Pokemon look, hell yes. Everything with Justice Smith and Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu, no. Take that out. Fuck that. Justice Smith is a terrible actor, and Ryan Reynolds should not play Pikachu. It's a joke now.
Justice Smith is like 12. Give the kid some credit and some
Not 12,
time.
He's like my age.
Razzie
Sarcasm.
Nominated. Just saying.
What's that?
Razzie nominated.
As he should have been.
There are seasoned actors with Oscars to their names that have been Razzie nominated, so.
Yeah, but he's not Oscar nominated, so
Again.
that's the only award he has to his name right now.
Okay, you know what? Here's the one reason. No. Here's the one reason why I'll give this dude some credit. You go make a Hollywood movie.
No. I don't want to be an actor.
And then, exactly. You gotta give some of these,
I'm just giving this kid shit. He's fucking making more money than all three of us combined right now.
Exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
I'm just giving him shit, but fuck this movie still. I cannot stand Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu.
Pikachu.
No, it's
literally.
it's dead. He can't even change his own voice. Like at least Bradley Cooper when he does Rocket Raccoon does a different voice than Bradley Cooper.
I suppose.
Do a different voice. I hate it.
I pictured that being something to the effect of the studio going to Reynolds because he has such a very distinctive voice. And whereas with like Rocket, it's cool. We got Bradley Cooper. We can put his name on the board, but you don't necessarily need to have that specific voice for Rocket. In fact, I don't think his specific voice would have worked. And I do think they look at Pikachu and go, well, he didn't have a voice before, so fuck it. Let's get us one that people are going to know because they're so used to Deadpool now that they don't have to have a face to the voice anymore.
No, it doesn't work.
I do think it looks gorgeous.
It does. It looks amazing. I'm glad that they're finally doing a live-action Pokemon movie.
Live action.
Yes, don't start that Lion King conversation with me.
You started
Photorealist, whatever. CGI movie. They look great. All of them look
Yes.
fantastic. They also spoiled the villain in this trailer.
What, Mewtwo? No. I don't. No.
Not a spoiler at all.
Not a
You just
spoiler.
spoiled it on the podcast.
Mewtwo's the bad guy.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm still gonna go watch it though. These fuckers have my money.
Wait, you literally just said 30 seconds ago that you're even further from the train. What the fuck just happened?
Charizard looks fucking awesome. The Invisible Man has some news coming out. Johnny Depp is out.
Elizabeth Moss is in. And I'm okay with this.
Yep.
I like Elizabeth Moss.
That's the big news story. Johnny Depp being out is
Who cares?
Yeah.
I
That's
mean,
old news at this point.
Well, not only that, but I mean, Johnny Depp was cast as the Invisible Man back when Universal was trying to create their universe with the Mummy.
The Dark Universe.
So at this point right now, I don't think anything there applies. So don't worry about the whole Johnny Depp, Javier Bardem, all of that. Because at that point, I think that's all irrelevant now. It's just what is coming now. It's, the Invisible Man. It's Lee Winnell. It's Elizabeth Moss. We're going from basically the Lee Winnell noise forward. Everything before that, I think, is just a moot point.
And right now it looks like they're going to be taking more of the way DC is going with things. It's the same universe, but not going to try to over-connect everything. Like DC tried to do right away, and the Dark Universe did in that Mummy movie.
Yeah.
They're at least pulling back and saying, hey, yeah, Dracula's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
We don't need to mention him or anything, but he's out there.
Yeah. That's
I
what
like that approach.
Yeah, I like that with like Wonder Woman and Aquaman, and at this point now Shazam, where it's just like, it's all self-contained in the same place, but you don't have to throw it down our throats.
You don't need to beat people over the head saying,
Yes.
look, Batman is in it.
Yes. So hopefully maybe this is Universal's finally way to be able to correct the ship.
And teaming up with Blumhouse. That's the fucking way to go.
Yeah.
They are the horror studio right now, and that's the best way they could have gone about this.
Question is, how many years did they have on them? Because, it used to be like, Miramax and Dimension of the 90s. Now that I think about this after having just rewatched all the Scream movies.
Lionsgate, early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I think Blumhouse has some legs.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They're just getting into the big franchise stuff.
Yeah.
Halloween last year.
Spawn.
Gonna get Spawn. Gonna have the Universal movies.
Yes.
They're heading for big stuff.
Yes.
Which I'm 100% for.
And they got Jordan Peele.
And they got Peel.
They got the Peel.
They got the Peel.
They got the Peel.
We're gonna get some casting for the Ghostbusters movie. These are some rumored names.
I was gonna say this is just the rumor stuff, isn't it?
The official Ghostbusters Facebook page posted this article, so it's all but confirmed.
Touche, salesman.
But Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things and It.
Yes.
What do you guys think of this one?
This kid is starting to make a good name for himself, and I'm okay with that. What's the other name that is on the docket for the Ghostbusters?
Carrie Coon.
I like that.
Proxima Midnight in Infinity War. Most nerds would know her from.
Well, and even if that's the case, Proxima then is... There's two people to play Proxima. The person who played the person and the person who played the voice.
I believe she was the person.
She just did the face capture and the voice, but otherwise there was a
Stunt actress.
Yeah.
low budget person.
Low budget person. Again, we're going to go back with that person probably makes more money than we do as the low budget person.
She is supposedly going to be playing like the mother character to these kids that find the Ghostbusters uniforms and weapons and stuff. But
They're not weapons.
Okay, whatever. Proton packs.
They're unlicensed nuclear accelerators.
There you go. This Finn Wolfhard thing, I think he is one of the best kid actors out there. I don't know if I like this casting, only because...
Horror movies and there's too much horror stuff for him.
Too much 80s nostalgia for him. It was set in the 80s.
Yes.
Stranger Things is set in the 80s.
Yes.
Ghostbusters came out in the 80s. It's going to have a lot of 80s vibes to it. He was wearing a Ghostbusters costume in Stranger Things.
Yes. Which is just...
So when that kid grows up to be an adult, he's going to see a younger version of himself in 2019 playing in the actual Ghostbusters movie. It's going to
that's not what
destroy the entire universe.
No, now that you referenced the Stranger Things season 2 with the whole Ghostbusters thing, I just want the 4 kids to be the kids from Stranger Things. Because you already have 3 white dudes and a black dude.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but they make a joke. They make a joke out of it, which is a great joke in season 2.
Yeah.
That Finn Wolfhard's character should be the Ernie Hudson character.
Yeah.
That's the only reason. He's obviously probably the number one choice if you're going to say, hey, we need kids for Ghostbusters. Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason
Between Stranger Things and It, though, all of those kids, and again, obviously there's overlap there, whatever, but between them, those kids are like, they're going to go places, I personally think. I mean, obviously Finn's starting to make a huge name for himself. Millie Bobby Brown's obviously making a huge name for herself.
one of the kids from Stranger Things, or It is in Shazam.
Exactly. Yeah. And all of them, they're really good. And for their age, I applaud them. And I really hope that they just keep going. They don't turn into the kid actor turns, meth head kind of thing. That they go, way above and beyond. I really do. Because I think they all have super amount of talent.
You want them to go more Leonardo DiCaprio than Dustin Diamond. We got some news for Bond 25, though.
Bum, bum, bum.
Academy Award-winning Best Actor Rami Malek is eyed to play the next Bond villain.
I like it.
I like it a lot. Especially to give him the opportunity to play a villain. He's either been essentially the good guy or an anti-hero. I say anti-hero because of Mr. Robot.
Oh, Freddie Mercury is an anti-hero?
Yes, Freddie Mercury is an anti-hero. So, no, Mr. Robot. I will honestly say because I still need to see Bohemian Rhapsody. I'm sad that I still haven't done that yet. But between what I have seen of Bohemian Rhapsody, I've seen the first season of Mr. Robot. To see him as King Tut in like the Night at the Museum movies. Talk about an eclectic range of characters that this man has played. So
The only next logical route is playing a villain.
well, that's what I mean. So I picture like a Mads Mikkelsen like evil villain, but don't give. Well, you're not gonna be able to give him that scar. Remember the BFI thing?
Yep.
So you can't give him a scar. So he's gonna have to be the very clean cut, like Bruce Wayne ish styled
In the
villain.
suit. Yep. I can see that.
Yeah.
Lupita Nyong'o is
Lupita.
eyed for the Bond girl in this movie.
Nice.
Done.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Let her play.
She'll be able to pull off whatever accent you give her. She's obviously Oscar nominated. She could probably phone that in and still have a superb performance.
She's one of the best actresses in the world right now.
Yes.
And let her play just a badass. Let her be more badass than James Bond himself.
Ooh, that could be fun. And especially that would show her as like a complete opposite of her Black Panther character.
Let her just go full badass. That's what I want. And then that's where you go for Bond 26. You focus on a Bond girl instead of Daniel Craig. Boom.
But see, that's not where we're going.
That's where I want it to go. Bond 26.
Bond 26, Idris Elba.
I think that's perfect casting.
Who, Idris or Lupita?
Well, both. But Idris is just up in the air right now. That's not going to happen.
He's just a bulletproof villain right now.
That's all he is.
Carrie
Fukunaga.
Fukunaga.
Nailed it.
What do we know of Carrie Fukunaga from?
First season of True Detective.
Beasts of No Nation with Idris Elba.
Ooh.
Throwing that out there.
Ooh. He was going to direct the It movie before they pulled him off. So
He wanted to keep the orgy scene in. And they were like,
yeah,
just saying.
we don't like to talk about that.
If they would have kept going with that original script and that original casting before they pulled it and basically rebooted it when they were working on it, we wouldn't have Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise.
Yeah, we would have had Will Poulter.
Will Poulter.
I still would have loved to have seen his version of Pennywise.
I do. I agree. Especially after seeing Bandersnatch and kind of like getting the We're the Millers like vision out of my head. I would have liked to see what that is, but at this point right now, I can't picture not Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise.
Quick jumping off
smile.
point from Will Poulter. He's going to be in a movie that I didn't put this in the notes because we didn't get the full trailer yet.
You're a jerk like that.
Yeah. But we got a poster for Midsummer.
Yes, I
which
saw
is
that.
Ari Aster movie.
Yes.
We did Hereditary. And Will Poulter's playing the lead. I can't wait for that movie.
You just have a thing for the Hereditary dude.
Oh, Hereditary's amazing. Check it out. But yeah, I can't wait for his next movie. Anyway, let's jump into some controversial topic. Steven Spielberg and Netflix are doing battle right now.
I wouldn't really call it a battle right now, other than just Spielberg is
An
you
asshole.
know,
Talking out his ass.
a little bit. Though I did come across a tweet. It was saying that if for the sake of the Academy and for the sake of like the awards and whatnot, if they were going to have like, a certain criteria, if you will, having like a 4-week window of like, hey, if you want your movie nominated, here's one small thing you have to do. Theatrical run, 4 weeks. It's not that long. It's not that big of a deal, especially in digital distribution.
I cannot talk today.
In a world of digital distribution, it shouldn't be that hard. For Netflix to be able to say, hey, you know what? We're going to run these, have them turn on someone's Netflix and run it through the theater.
They're playing by the rules, though. That's the biggest thing that's
Well,
pissing me off with this whole conversation with
here's-
Spielberg is that they have been playing by the rules. They did the exact same criteria they needed for Roma
Yeah.
to be nominated at the Oscars. They played it in a certain amount of theaters for a certain amount of time.
Right.
They're going to do the same thing next year with
The Irishman.
The Irishman, which will probably actually be even longer now if they change these rules.
Yeah.
But Steven Spielberg, he's one of the greatest filmmakers ever. But right here, he's just an idiot with these things he's saying.
Well, this was one thing that I legit kind of. There was one thing about his comment that I did kind of let me take a step back and had me ask questions, right? And that was the Emmy comment versus the Oscar comment. The reason why I had to take a step back is because why are any other movies that are on outside of Netflix or Hulu that are on, say, Sci-Fi, for example? Bad example, because Sci-Fi will never have an Oscar nominated movie.
Sharknado 7.
But no, that's what I'm saying though. Okay, so let's say Lifetime, AMC, okay, AMC right there. So you make a movie, you're talking your Breaking Bad movies, right? That they're doing with Jesse Pinkman, Aaron Paul, right? Why would that quantify as an Emmy for the, because we got daytime Emmys and the primetime Emmys? Why would that constitute as an Emmy nominated possibly versus an Oscar nominated if it was written and directed and done the exact same way?
It didn't play in that theatrical run. Netflix is playing by the rules. They're doing everything right. Like, they're going into the theaters the certain amount of time for the certain amount of dates they need to. Mm-hmm. They're playing by the Oscar rules right now. Like that, I hated those comments that, oh, these are just TV movies. Granted, most TV movies suck hard. And those comments are fucking asinine. And Steven Spielberg
Sharknado 27
needs to pull that Oscar out of his ass and get into the 21st century.
I agree. I think you can tell the difference between a TV movie and a movie. Like Black Mirror's TV movie, Bandersnatch. That's a TV movie.
Bandersnatch is a bad example because you need a fucking TV to be able to do that because it's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a bad example.
Well, I'm just saying, you can tell the difference though between what's a movie and TV.
A lot of the conversation I'm seeing is the Amazon way of doing things. Mm-hmm. Amazon will show it in a full theatrical run, and then right after it goes to Amazon. Mm-hmm. Maybe Netflix just has to do that. I don't think they have a problem playing with these rules. I think the only reason this is brought up because it's Steven fucking Spielberg.
It's Steven Spielberg.
And right now he's just talking out his ass. Like Jim Carrey and fucking
Ace Ventura. I'm surprised it took me faster to get to Ace Ventura than it did you.
Yeah.
He's your man.
He's my hero.
Don't start talking out your ass.
No.
That's
how I do these podcasts. Anyway.
Get me out of this room. It's so horrible.
We'll wrap up this conversation, but I think those comments are just idiotic. And
I'll say this. I get both sides, but I would have to agree that if Netflix is playing by the allocated rules, then there should be no reason that there should be any issue. Mm-hmm. If the Academy wants to change the said rules to have a standard of an explicit time frame, an explicit theater count, whatever the case is, that would affect any and everybody. As long as it is something that everybody can comply to, as long as everybody's playing by the rules, so be it. I'm good with that.
You good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right, we'll wrap that conversation up.
Dun dun dun.
We still love Steven Spielberg though.
And I'm out of beer.
Oh no, Brian's out of beer.
I'm out of beer.
Call the cops.
No, don't call the cops.
Now let's jump into our main conversation of this episode. Our top 10 favorite non-MCU comic book films.
Yeah, we figured we'd say, go with non-MCU since next week will be, hey, look, there was an MCU movie.
Yes, and Chris will be doing an article, right?
Came out yesterday.
So yeah. Be on the lookout for that if you're listening to this. So we got a lot of movies to talk about, so let's just jump right into it.
Okay.
Number 10 that we have on our combined list, we're just throwing stuff out here. None of these are in any real particular order.
Except for one.
Just for the number one.
Yeah, the number one is the number one.
Yeah, it's the number one.
So number 10.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, so this is all you because Chris and I need to... We have failed miserably. This is like the only Spider-Man movie I have not seen in the theaters, and I'm sad that I didn't see it.
And is the best Spider-Man movie. We'll have one a little higher, I guess, but that's only because you guys have seen that one. But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie ever. It's one of the best animated movies to come out in the last 10 years, for sure. It beat Disney this year. Mm-hmm. Lord Miller doing that. Yeah, if you haven't watched this movie, go and check it out. It's available now on streaming.
Yes.
Yeah, so check that out.
And I came across this morning at like 3 o'clock this morning, and I actually watched almost all of it. So, yes, you can go watch it on streaming, but if you're really bored and just want to see the first 9 minutes, Sony released the first 9 minutes on YouTube.
It's a great first 9 minutes too.
Yes.
Did you watch it?
I got through most of it.
Okay.
I got through most of it.
See a lot of the Sam Raimi references then?
Oh, at the very beginning, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the Chris Pine
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yep. It does what Lego Batman did for Batman, but for Spider-Man. It makes you love Miles Morales as the new Spider-Man. All these other Spider-Mans from the alternate dimensions are amazing. Nick Cage as Spider-Man Noir
Nick Cage.
might be the highlight of the movie.
He's fucking Nick Cage. Well, he's the highlight of every movie.
That is true.
Even if it's a bad movie, it's fucking Nick Cage.
Usually is a bad
Fucking
movie.
Nicolas Cage. there is no bad Nicolas Cage movie, though.
I'm thinking Chris is disagreeing over here.
Name one bad Nicolas Cage movie.
Let me just go to his page here.
So no bad Nicolas Cage movies.
No, so we go from Spider-Verse to Nick Cage does not make bad movies.
That is true. So our number 9. What is our number 9?
Number 9 is the most awesome, badass cop future, I don't know what you want to call it, Dredd. And
Carl Urban.
I was going to say, we need to specify. We're not talking Judge Dredd with Sly Stone. We are talking flat out Carl Urban does not take off his helmet. They should have made a sequel. Lena Headey as the villain was fantastic. Just this overall, I've been aching. I was like, I want another Star Trek. I need another Dredd. Carl, I was about to call him Keith Urban.
Keith Urban is Dredd.
Keith Urban! Get that Australian accent out of there. No, Carl Urban needs to do Dredd again. There was everything right with that movie.
He wants to. He really does.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know.
He needs
It's like
the
if
money.
you have your actor wanting to make it, the only thing I think is like, did it not do well?
It lost money.
No, it did not do well at all.
Them assholes.
Yes, assholes. Everybody listening who has never watched Dredd. Okay, I'm just kidding. You're not assholes, but watch Dredd. It's amazing.
Did you just raise your hand, Chris?
Yep.
You need to fix that shit.
I know.
You
It
do
is-
need to fix
It
that.
is actually, especially if you're going to compare it to Sylvester Stallone version, fucking hands down, much better.
One of the best action movies to come out in the last 20 years, for sure.
I would have to say that the reason why I think probably Dredd didn't do as well as one would hope it would be is, number one, it's kind of like Alita. It's very effects driven movie, and it's not for your everyday type of person. Especially because they pointed the R gun at the time, and that was pre-Deadpool. So to have an R-rated comic book movie just wasn't the norm. So I think it was too soon. I think it's part of the problem.
R-rated 3D comic book movie.
Oh,
And that's the way you watch that movie, too, in 3D.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in a post-Deadpool world, I think we would be sitting on, like, 3 Dredds right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, I don't know if we'll ever get that sequel, but it needs to happen. So you need to watch Dredd if you have not watched that movie.
And call your congressman.
Call your congressman.
We need another Dredd movie. Hey,
They will make it happen.
considering how much shit you see on change.org for stupid shit.
We need to start a petition for Dredd 2. Actually, there's probably one out there right now.
I would laugh my ass off, but you're probably
Oh, there
right.
definitely is.
All right, number 8.
Spider-Man 2. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2.
I was
that
going
is.
to say, you got to be...
Not Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just Spider-Man 2.
Just Spider-Man 2
with Dr. Octopus. Doc Ock.
Doc Ock. Alfred Molina as probably the best Spider-Man villain. Up there with Michael Keaton's Vulture. Right up there.
I would
Those two.
I would have to concur. Both of
give
them
you
are
that.
very down-to-earth characters considering the respective movie.
Both great relationship with the Peter Parker side and then being the villain on the Spider-Man side, which is the perfect way you do a Spider-Man villain. Mm-hmm. Everything in this movie works. It's a perfect comic book movie. In a time where there was Spider-Man, the X-Men.
That's about it.
That's
Yeah.
about it at that time.
Blade.
Yeah, right around Blade 3 at that time. Woof. But I would throw... I love the first Spider-Man for how cheesy and campy it is and how close it is to those original comic books. But Spider-Man 2 is the pinnacle of live-action Spider-Man movies. That train scene alone.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the best fight scenes.
Well, that train scene, of course, because why else would you not have to put it in the animated movie?
Exactly. And then the moment after the fight is just one of the best Spider-Man moments ever. Where they're all carrying him Jesus style. And they promise that they're not going to reveal who he is. I'm like, that's Spider-Man right there.
Right.
That's the movie. And for me, there's an awesome homage to Sam Raimi horror in it. When Doc Ock finally comes full evil Doc Ock in the hospital.
Oh, I thought you were just going to be like, because Bruce Campbell is in it.
Well, and Bruce Campbell's in it, obviously. But yeah, the scene with him in the hospital is straight up Evil Dead type of stuff. You know what scene I'm talking about?
Where he's on the operating table.
Yes.
And the arms take over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Complete with a lady running up to the camera and screaming into it, breaking the fourth wall.
You had to give me a minute. It's been a while
Been a
since
while.
I've seen it. Yeah, and I own it.
Has one of the best Aunt May speeches ever in it at the end.
No,
Where
no.
after he quits being Spider-Man and goes along his way.
One of the best Aunt May scenes ever is at the end of the Spider-Man Homecoming when Aunt May.
Not talking about Spider-Man Homecoming.
Fuck you, bitch.
Anyway, what were you saying?
No, when Aunt May sees that he's Spider-Man and they cut her off.
So you guys enjoy the Spider-Man 2? Is it your favorite of the Spider-Man movies? I know we had a whole episode on Spider-Man, but
Are we including Homecoming
Yeah.
in this? I like Homecoming. better.
I'd go with Homecoming, and
I
that
can't argue that.
and that's because, again, like you said, if you're comparing Doc Ock versus Sam Raimi trilogy to the Amazing Spider-Man to Homecoming, is the Vulture, Tom Holland, just all of that. I would have to agree with Chris. I think that would have to be my best Spider-Man. Obviously, because I can't quantify Into the Spider-Verse.
No, I think Homecoming, Spider-Man 2, and Into the Spider-Verse, top 3 for sure. So
Yeah.
let's move on to number 7.
Poor Jamie Foxx. Days of Futures Past. X-Men.
X-Men, Days of Future Past.
Not Jamie Foxx.
Not with Jamie Foxx. I don't know. Oh, Electro. Ugh. Ugh. I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk about a much better movie, Days of Future Past.
And I will preface this again. I would go with the road cut version. I want to go with the home video. We recut this and made this better version.
I haven't watched that one yet, but there's not much difference besides Rogue being added.
Rogue is in a lot, and there's actually a few alternate scenes because of it.
Is she like badass, 90s X-Men animated series Rogue in that?
Who fucking cares? It's Anna Paquin.
I fucking care, 'cause I don't... What? Do you watch True Blood or what?
Yes.
Okay. Brian's seen her boobs, so therefore he likes her.
Oh boy.
So is her husband Stephen Moyer, the one that plays Bill.
I haven't watched it. Do you have it? I might borrow it.
What?
Anyway.
True Blood?
No, not True Blood. The Rogue cut.
Oh, on digital, yes, and I also haven't seen since the True Blood.
Okay. Anyway, this is the series that brought back the original cast, the Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart, combined it with the Michael Fassbender, James McAvoy cast. Does it perfectly.
Oh, agreed. Probably one of the best scenes is literally the face-to-face with McAvoy and Stewart.
McAvoy should have got a Best Supporting Actor for that scene.
Yes.
He is fantastic in this movie. Delivers the best performance in any X-Men movie for me. I don't know about you guys. McAvoy in Days of Future Past is my favorite performance.
He's one of those ones, and I probably said this before, but is, as a kid and fan casting for who would play Professor Xavier, Patrick Stewart was the only one ever to be considered, to conceive and whatnot. And then when they're like, we're going to go young, we're going to bring this back. How many years?
He's going to have hair.
He's going to have hair. I can't picture anybody but James McAvoy now for at least a young version of him. Because even as bald, he actually pulls it off. And between that and Split and a few other movies he's done where he's shaved his head, I'm like, okay, I can get behind this now.
He rocks that bald look.
Oh yeah, it fucking does. Especially after Glass and Split.
So this is the last movie before Jennifer Lawrence officially starts phoning it in as Mystique. So she's actually good in this movie yet. But yeah, I don't know. Any other final thoughts on Days of Future Past?
Watch it if you haven't.
Watch
the road cut if you haven't.
Number 6 on our list. We got the Chris Evans, little-known comic book movie, Snowpiercer.
We got the how many comic book movies can Chris Evans do?
Snowpiercer, if you haven't seen it, check it out. Takes place all on a train, post-apocalyptic movie. Chris Evans is great in it. Tilda Swinton is the star of this movie.
And I noticed just from looking at production still, just because I hadn't seen it yet. Again, one of those ones where I always wanted to and then never got around to it. John Hurt.
Yep. It's been a while since I watched this movie. He doesn't have that big of a part.
I don't even care. It's just that he's in it. For me, he would be almost like the Michael Parks, before he passed away. Put him in everything. I don't care.
Now, this movie takes place all on a train. I love self-contained stories like that. And this movie plays up the action, post-apocalypse type of movie perfectly.
I love it.
And it goes there.
It goes there.
It goes there.
It goes
If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So check it out if you haven't. Brian hasn't watched it, so you need to watch Snowpiercer, Brian. So number 5 on our list, Deadpool, the original. Deadpool. X-Men Origins, Deadpool.
What the fuck?
Oh, wrong list. No, the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie from 2014.
Coming in number 1, X-Men Wolverine.
X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Woof.
Nope, I stand corrected. I'm
No.
sorry.
Deadpool changed the game for these type of movies.
What, for rated R movies or fourth wall breaking movies or Ryan Reynolds in a good comic book movie? You need to be a little bit more specific.
Yes.
All the above.
Exactly. He was the death of every comic book franchise he was in at that point. Wasn't necessarily his fault.
I was going to say Blade is not his fault.
He's bad in it, but it's not his fault.
I'm going to be the devil's advocate for Blade Trinity right now.
Ugh.
He's one of the few saving graces of that movie. I mean, I would rather take the one-liners out of Ryan Reynolds in Blade Trinity than the whatever acting you were getting out of Triple H.
Oh, Triple H was fantastic in that. Not.
You lie.
I know, he was terrible. Everything about I hate that movie so much.
Dominic Purcell as Dracula was just weird. Especially with that, like, 90s, like, I went to the surf shop, got my white V-neck shirt with the, I don't know.
He's the Fast and the Furious version of what a vampire would be.
No, but now I want to see Vin Diesel as Dracula.
Oh my god, no. Anyway, we're not talking about Blade 3 anymore. Deadpool.
Deadpool.
We all love Deadpool.
I love me some Deadpool. I love me some first Deadpool, Deadpool 2. Just wrap everything up in a bow in this here.
Nice little bow.
Yes.
Red Deadpool bow.
Okay, let me rephrase. I love everything Deadpool in this little, right here, with the exception of X-Men Origin.
Hey, I like the first part when he could actually fucking talk.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah. Anyway, I love all the jokes at Green Lantern, the X-Men franchise, X-Men Origins especially. I love that he has an action figure of Barakapool.
I was going to say is when he's being dragged by Colossus in the first one and he's coming back to the mansion. The James or is it the McAvoy or is it the Stewart? Because I'm getting these timelines confused.
See, that script is fucking perfect.
Yes.
And we're so glad that Ryan Reynolds,
Ryan Reynolds.
he leaked that footage. We're glad that happened.
He totally did.
No. He's 70% sure he didn't leak it. God, I love that interview. I am 70% sure it wasn't me.
Wink, wink. So, number 4 on this list.
Number 4, we bring in the Kingsmen.
Kingsman, the Secret Service, Matthew Vaughn's original Kingsman movie.
And they're, me personally, I think you could wrap them all up in a bow with this one too. Kingsman and the Golden Circle. And what will become the Kingsman 3 and what is the Great Game. Just wrap them all up in a bow here because even for a prequel, I don't even know anything that's going on other than like the 3 people that are in it, and I'm already sold and want to go to the theater.
Matthew Vaughn is the king of doing comic book movies.
Yes.
X-Men First Class, the Kingsman movies, the first Kick-Ass.
He did the second Kick-Ass though, didn't he?
No.
Nope.
No, who did that one?
I don't remember. It wasn't him, so.
Anyway, no, obviously Kingsman was my introduction to Taron Egerton, and for, again, another young actor coming into Hollywood this time of, he is, if Triple X couldn't be the new take on Bond that they were hoping for, the modern day edgy Bond kind of thing, I'm so glad we have the Kingsman.
He's probably my favorite younger actor out there right now.
Oh yeah,
He can do it all.
obviously he goes from kicking ass in the Kingsman to
Singing with Elton John.
singing with Elton John.
Yeah, so I love the first Kingsman movie. One of my favorite scenes in any comic book movie is the church scene. The church scene.
Yes.
I still haven't watched the second one. I need to get on that.
And well, I'll get back to that. But no, and one thing I absolutely just kind of blew my mind about the Kingsman was seeing Colin Firth doing action, because at this point, you're just so used to Love Actually and like the King's Speech and all this, and all you're just used to is the drama and stuff like that with Colin Firth. And all of a sudden, the church scene, you're like, he's not supposed to be able to move like that.
Exactly. That's that Matthew Vaughn style that I love. What do you guys think in the first Kingsman of Samuel L. Jackson's villain character?
Amazing.
Loved it.
Absolutely loved it. Everything down to his wacky wardrobe and the lisp.
See, I was on the fence on it at first, but then once you figure out what the tone of the movie is throughout,
Yes.
it's perfect.
Yep.
Same with her name is escaping me.
Sophia Botella.
Thank you.
Yep.
As the villainous kind of, with her
Sword
with her
feet.
sword legs and whatnot.
All right, so what do we got at number 3?
Number 3, we have the infamous Old Man Logan.
Logan comes in at our number 3. Most people probably might be number 1, right around there for them.
I think our number 1 is the number 1.
It's the number 1.
It's the number 1.
Yeah.
But this is in a post Deadpool 1 world of R-rated comic book movies. This is the one that needed to be made when it was made and how they did it. I don't think they could have made it before they did.
No, absolutely not. R-rated Western comic book movie.
And it really just, to the point where, they did such a good job on making Patrick Stewart look so sick and old. You legit are afraid he's going to die before they finish making the movie.
Yeah, that's true. They play on the I hate saying this word, fragility. Is that right?
What?
How fragile they are?
Oh.
Yes, like he's going to break. You think he's going to fall over in his wheelchair and
Fragile.
crumble. Fragile. Same thing with Logan. He's struggling in this movie. And then bringing in X-23,
At least for the
that's
sake
the
of-
best way you could have
at
gone with
least-
the story.
At least they explain why Logan is so fragile by this point, though. As opposed
Fucking
to...
older than Yoda in this movie. It's a joke.
I was gonna say.
Anyway, no.
Brings the hard R action Western style movie, and I dig that about this movie. The only qualm I have is a very similar one with Wonder Woman, which came out the next year.
That you're wrong. Anyway,
Yes, that I am wrong about the movie, and I hate it. No, it's the villain.
One with the missing arm.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I didn't care for him. There wasn't much about him. Once they introduced X-24, the clone of Wolverine,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no. It's not doing it for me. Took me out of it. Especially when that's how you kill Patrick Stewart. It didn't sit well with me the first time I watched it. And it still doesn't. I think he could have gone a different route with that story. I think everything else works great. That's where it struggles, is the villain part.
Here's my question. As one who has not actually read the Old Man Logan comics, is X-24 the one that kills him in the comics?
This is nothing like the comic book.
Well, Hawkeye's on the comic book, so.
Hawkeye is. Hulk fucking eats people in the comic book. Yeah, this has nothing to do with the comic book. Besides that he's old and it's about Wolverine. That's the only real and it's a Western post-apocalyptic comic book as well, but nothing really besides that he's old and he's Logan. That's about it. For me, I love the Wolverine more. Just got to throw that one out there. It has the same problems as this movie, but I love the Japanese story with Logan. So I know I'm wrong.
Chris, is he wrong?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
Just checking.
unfortunately.
Number 2.
I just needed to make sure I had somebody on my side over here.
Oh, I think you have 99.9% of the internet on your side with that one. I'm the only 0.1 on that.
You're like, the Wolverine? Yes!
Yes, especially the R-rated version of that movie. It's fantastic. Just like your road cut. You got to watch the R-rated version. All right, coming in at our number 2.
Number 2.
The Edgar Wright, I would say classic,
The Chris Evans 2.0.
2.0. Michael Cera's best movie by far, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I partially disagree with you.
Juno?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Super bad. But Scott Pilgrim versus the World is right up there, and that's my favorite Edgar Wright movie by far. It plays the comic book, video game type of movie perfectly.
Oh, I mean, if you look at Michael Cera, and I'll even back this up one step here. If you look at the casting versus how the comic is written, I don't think any of them are miscast.
No, there's so many good people in this movie, too. Brie Larson,
Oh,
Brandon Routh.
No. Best cameo ever in that entire movie. Thomas Jane and Clifton Collins Jr. as the vegan police.
Yeah, that is a great bit. I love the vegan police.
I don't care about any other cameo in that. Once they just plow through the wall for that 30 seconds, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World. The style of Edgar Wright is probably this is the most Edgar Wright movie of them all, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, being the Michael Cera typecast that he always is, this is where you need that character, that type of character.
This character, it looks like it's written for Michael Cera when you realize that this comic has been around for as long as it had been.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, everything down to like the Smashing Pumpkins t-shirt, and I mean, they had a huge attention to detail for everyone. And I mean, where else would you see a movie with like Michael Cera, Chris Evans, Jason Schwartzman?
Aubrey Plaza is great in this movie. Anna
Kendrick.
Yeah. There's so many good people in this movie.
Rory Culkin.
That's
Kieran.
Kieran Culkin, yep. As his roommate. Oh, I love everything with him, too.
Too many Culkins in the world. No, I'm kidding.
We need more Culkins.
We need more Culkins.
Macaulay, please have kids. Anyway, so Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I love the music in it is great. It fits the tone perfectly. I love all the action scenes. This is how you would do like a live action Super Mario Brothers movie. Like, let Edgar Wright do that movie.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, sidebar. Who would you cast in an Edgar Wright live action
Nick
Mario?
Frost and Simon Pegg. Yeah. Moving on. Anyway, final thoughts.
Oh, amazing. I thoroughly enjoy this movie, and every time I get an opportunity to see it, it's still just as good. It again, because of the style of which it's built around and everything like that, it holds up very well. You know, for the sake of like the video game, everything is 8-bit, Super Mario style anyway. So no matter when you watch it, you're not going to lose it in time, basically.
We need our Knives Chow movie. Moving on. At our number 1, no question here. The Dark Knight.
I was just about to... And number 1, like, nobody else would be like saying, hey, Superman Returns.
No, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace.
No, The Dark Knight. The pinnacle of the Batman franchise.
Pinnacle of comic book movies in general. It's my favorite MCU, DC movie, comic book. It's the number 1. I've yet to see anything that can come close to it.
Now, would you say that's because of the cast? Would you say that's because of the realistic style? Would you say it's for the art direction? What makes this movie the all-time absolute?
I don't want to use the same bit that I did earlier, but yes. Everything. It is a perfect movie. There's no lagging scenes, there's no bad acting. The writing is top-notch. Everyone's awesome in this movie. Heath Ledger finally breaks every barrier that there was for these type of movies, taking home his Academy Award for supporting actor for playing the Joker. Still the best performance in any comic book movie ever. I don't know if it could ever be topped. It will probably at some point, but now it's still the top.
What, for Heath Ledger as the Joker?
Yeah, performance-wise.
Definitely.
I remember when they first announced that Heath Ledger would be in this movie, and everybody's thinking like A Knight's Tale and 10 Things I Hate About You and all these things, and they've made a horrible decision, and Chris Nolan is going to destroy this character, and everything, and how they were desecrating the Jack Nicholson Joker and all this, and all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, he just completely redefined the role.
Swept the award season. Took home everything.
That fucker should have been winning awards long before that. I'm just saying.
It's the reason they changed the rules at the Oscar for Best Picture. It's because of The Dark Knight. Before The Dark Knight, in that year, it was 5. Dark Knight wasn't nominated for Best Picture. After that, it's the 5 to 10.
Oh.
Yeah. So that movie, it did so much for not only the genre of movies, but then movies in general, like the way we look at comic book movies. It changed that.
Then it took another 10, 11 years for Black Panther and that to come out and Into the Spider-Verse to actually win said Oscars.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the one that started it all. And then you can't have the villain without the hero. Christian Bale's still in this movie. He's still my Batman.
He's still your Batman.
He's still my Batman. Granted, we don't have a Batman right now, but he's my Batman.
We almost have a Batman.
Yeah, Christian Bale, I love his performance as Batman. This is where it starts to get a little jokey with the voice, but it doesn't go full-fledged.
The weed out here's got a thing.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. I'm not wearing any hockey pads.
I do think, though, that overall casting and how they put together Christopher Nolan's trilogy, and obviously he had to do a severe rewrite to the last chapter when he brought in Tom Hardy as Bane and Talia al Ghul and all that stuff because of what his original plan was for the third act. But I think overall, everyone's so beautifully cast in every single one of them. Even if, yes, the voice thing is probably like my only like qualm with the Christopher Nolan trilogy is the Batman voice, because I mean, for the sake of Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale killed it as, you know, as that aspect of it. Talia al Ghul, Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, Tom Hardy. I mean, pretty much anybody. I mean, even Cillian Murphy as Scarecrow.
Scarecrow is great.
You know, all of them. I don't think there is, you know, in only 3 movies where you essentially have so many villains going on, Two-Face, he's able to pull it off. You know, he didn't pull a Sam Raimi and jump the shark by the third one. You know,
Don't blame Raimi for that.
I'm not blaming Raimi for it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I think he righted his wrongs from the first movie with the casting of Kate Hudson, which is why we get Maggie Gyllenhaal in Dark Knight.
I really didn't see a problem with her.
There was no chemistry. That's the biggest thing I could pull away from Batman Begins. There's no chemistry between the two.
But if you look at the second one with Maggie Gyllenhaal, there isn't a whole lot of interaction.
I think they rightfully
not
took the character out of the story altogether in that movie.
That's where I'm thinking is that, you know, they have her in there where they need to have her to continue the story and whatnot. But you could have done that with Katie Holmes, though, too.
Yeah.
All in all, everybody as cast, I think, did a fantastic job. And obviously, Heath Ledger is literally the icing on the cake, is the highest on the mantle out of everyone that's in there.
It shows how great we're still talking about that performance today.
12 years later.
12 years later, we're still talking about it.
Mm-hmm. And I figure it's about 12 because I remember buying the Blu-ray in 08.
Yeah, it came out in 2008. Yep,
it did.
So just about 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Dark Knight trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. You guys know where they were going with the Joker and Dark Knight Rises, right?
No.
He was gonna be back. I don't know that.
Yeah, so I read this a few years ago, but it was basically when Bane breaks everybody out of the prisons, you know, and they all take over Gotham. He broke everyone out except the Joker. He left him there. It's like, even this guy's too fucking crazy for me.
Nope.
So Batman has to go to visit the Joker and try to get information from him, like how to stop him. Huh. So it wouldn't have been a huge part at all. It would have been, hey, we're going to go... Kind of like, even to a lesser extent, Loki in the second Thor movie, where he's in prison and Thor has to go to him for help.
Right.
Be kind of like that, except they wouldn't have team up or anything like that.
That makes sense that he would have gone to him, though.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
And I
cool.
love the fact that he's like, no, you're staying in there. You're fucking nuts.
Dude, I'm mean, I'm bad, you stay in the fucking there, dude. Yes.
Yeah, so I love that trilogy. Perfect trilogy, and I could watch all 3 of those, you know, back to back to back. So any final thoughts on The Dark Knight? It's the number one.
It is the current definition of what an absolute awesome comic book movie needs to be.
Absolutely.
And I do think the MCU is working its way there. They're a little bit more flamboyant. They're a lot more colorful. So I don't think they necessarily are seen as that dark and gritty like what Christopher Nolan did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll ever make something like that because they're
No, they kind of have their formula.
they're going like way crazy comic book stuff.
Yeah.
Versus the Dark Knight, which was so non-comic book movie.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. One more to add to that little checklist.
Oh, of people that were in it?
Yes.
Yeah. Still want Christopher Nolan in 20 years to make his Joseph Gordon-Levitt Batman movie. All right, so that is our top 10 favorite non-MCU comic book movies. Do you guys have any honorable mentions you want to throw out really quick? I got quite a few.
The Watchmen.
The Watchmen.
300.
No.
Well, you don't like The Watchmen?
Watchmen sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. But
I think he's just over here going, I just seen way too much of Dr. Manhattan's wang.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know why they couldn't edit that.
there's a lot of blue dick in that movie.
Yeah.
So. 300. I like 300 more than Watchmen.
300 is good.
Yeah. Blade 2, my favorite of the Blade movies. Guillermo del Toro. Perfect.
Just give me all the Blade movies. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Throw out Kick-Ass. The first one, I love
Yes.
the first Kick-Ass.
And
Two has its moments.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yep. The Crow, the original, obviously. Throw out First Class is my favorite X-Men movie. The Mask with Jim Carrey. Maybe not a lot of people know that was a comic book movie. Much different from what the version we get in the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah. What you mean? The comic book is a little darker, like like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Even darker than that.
There you go. TMNT.
TMNT, 1990, my favorite of them all. And then all the DC animated movies.
Flashpoint specifically.
Flashpoint, Under the Red Hood might be my favorite of them. Anyway, we got to wrap it up here, so we're going to talk about a couple of our friends, give them a nice shout out. Big shout out to Andy at Fat Dude Digs Flex. Check him out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, do all that fun stuff. Also check out Blake and Jameson on Midwest Movie Talk. Also post awesome, great movie-related articles, do a lot of older films, a lot of 90s nostalgia on there. Also check us out on backlot605.com. You can check out all our latest movie news, reviews, articles. Chris, you got the MCU ranking article coming out. Is that right?
That is correct.
That is.
I'm gonna piss some people off, I'm sure.
All right, good.
Good.
the
We
only
need
way it
we
goes.
need to promote that shit then.
Yeah.
Oh, side note. What did we just put up here that people will be able to go take a quick listen for?
They can check out an interview I did with Andrew Keitlinger, who is from Pierre, South Dakota. He went to college at Augustana, so he knows Sioux Falls pretty well.
He's a local guy.
He's a local guy. He made a little film called Tater, Tot, and Patton, starring Jessica Roth, who we talked about earlier from Happy Death Day. He's going to be screening that here the weekend of March 7th through the 9th at the Wells Fargo Cinedome in Sioux Falls, so you can go check that out. So he will be there the 9th doing a Q&A right there at the Wells Fargo Cinedome, and I'll be there for sure. I don't know if you guys will, but yeah, definitely go check it out. And I support independent film here in South Dakota. We obviously need it here. So yeah, go check that out, please. Support independent film, and
Yes.
especially here in South Dakota. We're gonna brag on that because we like to plug South Dakota stuff here. Also check out our TeePublic store. You can find all cool merch and T-shirts and different stuff like that. Buy a pillow, why not? Buy a mug.
Buy a sticker.
Buy a sticker. Stickers are cool.
Put a sticker on your car.
You can check out this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube. And also you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Like our page there, and also subscribe on YouTube. Anyway, that's it for this week's episode. Next week you can check out our full spoilers review of Captain Marvel. So make sure you watch the movie before you check out next week's podcast, because we are going to spoil the crap out of it.
Yeah, not like I tried to do that with Glass before.
No, Brian kind of did that. But we're going to do it on purpose this time. So anyway, until next time.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, I'm Casey.
I'm Brian.
I'm Chris.
And we'll see you next time on the Backlot of South Dakota.